Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip. Racism is real here in the UK. We know that it's well publicised in the US, but the UK isn't innocent at all. Just take a look at the history of the British Empire, which has built its wealth by terrorising, brutalising, murdering and raping and pillaging the people and resources of black countries, all under the guise of colonisation. Of course, of people who actually didn't invite them there nor need them there, were self-sufficient, but that's a story in itself. But for today, we are taking a look at the racial profiling of Bianca Williams, who is a Team GBL athlete, and her partner. So most recently, professional athlete Bianca Williams and her partner Ricardo dos Santos, who both train under former Olympic champion Linford Christie, were racially profiled by the Met Police in London on Saturday the 4th of July. The video you're about to see went viral after Linford Christie and a number of others shared on their social media. Now, on this occasion, the couple were en route home with their 3-month-old baby in the car. Bianca was in the back of the car and her partner Ricardo was driving the car. They were heading home and they were suddenly surrounded and blocked in by police who pounced out of their vehicles, were shouting at Ricardo, who was in the driver's seat. They were ready to smash the glass. Luckily, he opened the door. As he opened the door, they dragged him out of the vehicle. And of course, Bianca is there in distress as well. They've also dragged her out the car. Just watch this clip here.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm outside my house. You're right. For what? For what? What reason? What did I do? Bro, I'm at home, bro. What are you doing? Bro, I'm at home, bro.
Wait, he didn't do anything! No. For what? Then why are you touching my son? He's in it, calm down. My son is in the car. I don't want you to look after him. My son is in the car. No.
No one's going to be hurt. Just get out of the car. You're going to be detained for a search, okay? Under section 1 of case. Get out of the car and we don't need to do this. You're detained for a search from PC Simpson from Larkhall Lane TSGBs, okay? You're detained in a section 1 of case for a search. The reason being... It's alright, just relax.
So you can clearly see and hear what happened, and you can really hear that Bianca is clearly distressed. I mean, who wouldn't be? As a mother sitting in the back of the car with your child, you're expected to be accosted by police and dragged out of your vehicle to leave your child in there. You've got the officer telling her to relax. You've got another officer who's dragged her partner out the car and, talking about section 1, but we didn't hear whatever else that was. Now, you'll see in the next clip that I insert, which is Bianca and her partner speaking to the news after, obviously, it all went viral. And what's interesting is, they were, of course, stopped and searched under the usual, it's got to be drugs, it's got to be something like that because they're black.
Seconds of them pulling up to the car. They were out of the car, shouting, had their batons ready, and like an orange thing to break the glass. It all happened so quickly, and it was just a shock of what they were doing, really. Ricardo then opened the door to get out, and they instantly, within seconds, dragged him out of the car, took his phone, took his watch, pinned him up against this post here, and said that we can smell cannabis. I then opened my door as I was sitting at the back, and I'm saying to them, he's done nothing wrong, we've done nothing wrong. The 2 female officers then grabbed me and grabbed my arms. I'm still have my phone in my hand at this point. They then handcuffed me. I'm trying to pull back into the car. and say my son's in the car, he's 3 months old, that I'm not leaving him, and they're saying that I should relax and step out of the car, and that they're detaining me under a certain drug act, and they're going to search the car for weapons. It's just insane.
They only said that they can smell drugs on me because it was on their body-worn camera. So it looks like they have a reason to stop us. So I know the tricks that they're gonna say the things that makes them look good, because I can't prove that they smelt something.
And is there any doubt in your mind as to why you were stopped, you first?
I think it's because he was a black man driving a nice car, and like the car just happens to be all black. Because why else would I have made that turn to then follow us? But I'm sure if he wasn't black, we wouldn't be here right now. But because he is, we are here, and that's a shame. That's just the world we live in. They need to not be so aggressive, and have a bit of respect when they speak to you, and just not always target the black people. You know, like we're innocents. Like we've done nothing wrong. We're professional athletes. We train more or less every day, and we have a child to look after. Like there are more things going on in the world right now, and we are not part of that.
So you just watched that video, and you can clearly see Bianca is still upset about it, and Ricardo, and rightfully so. And what's really sad about this is that, you know, black people are always targeted for stop and search. I mean, even last year it was reported that black people are 40 times more likely to be stopped and searched in the UK. And bearing in mind that black and brown people are what is termed as, you know, minorities, even though globally black and brown people are, you know, the majority globally. But, you know, I digress with that. But my point being is that they are definitely likely to be stopped more, harassed more by the police. And that's not to say that they commit more crimes, however, because if you look at the crime statistics, you know, white people are up there committing a lot of crimes. It's just that they're not getting stopped and searched as much as, you know, your black males in particular. So have a look at some of these stats here, which it shows you, you know, you've got the black and brown. I mean, look at black other. I mean, it's a huge amount of people that have been, that have obviously fallen into that category. It's probably black British, because they only give you, you know, the Caribbean or African. And then you've got black. So, you know, all these different variations of black. They don't want to, you know, put you all together, but they don't mind putting you under the BAME title when they want to talk about us. So, again, it is quite frustrating when you see something like that. And you're going to get your naysayers, those who think, oh, well, you know, she's just calling out the race card, which I think is total BS. I've seen some people tweeting that online, but again, you know, you can't help those who are willfully ignorant about race. If you go and you look into things, you can see that there's definitely an issue, then admit where there's an issue. Even the police commissioner had to apologise for causing distress to Bianca, but I think that she did that, A, because obviously she's a high profile person, and B, because obviously what's happened with George Floyd recently. We've also had protests over here, and C, don't forget the Met Police, the UK police, are known for being institutionally racist. So for them to now, you know, this is caught on camera, you know, Linford Christie, who's a, you know, former champion, he shared it, so that got immediate attention. So of course they're going to go and say, do their PR work and try and do their PR cover up and say, you know, apologise for causing distress, not for what they did, not for, you know, originally handcuffing the mum and the dad. You'll see in the image here that obviously, you know, Bianca is holding her baby, so they obviously let her out of cuffs at some point. But I shouldn't have had to go through that in the first place, particularly when they probably didn't have any tip off. It just sounds like they saw someone, you know, driving black, and I've seen that before. I'm a black person, and I've seen it happen untold amount of times where police are just literally targeting young boys or, you know, young males, and, you know, that comes down to institutional racism as well as stereotypes. You know, what is it? Black people are always gangsters in movies. There's things like that that play roles in people's heads, and people start to go into their, what we call, you know, your unconscious bias. But I do believe the police in the UK need to be retrained. They need to be retrained, you know, whether it be a combination of unconscious bias training as well as education in terms of the British Empire education, because everyone tries to say, you know, Black history, because we have Black History Month. I mean, we get Black History Month once a year, 1 month of the year. When the truth of the matter is, you know, the slavery history, the colonization history, British Empire, their actual history is slavery, it's raping, it's pillaging, it's all of that. So they need to understand how this country got their wealth and where they got it from, and they need to dispel a lot of their stereotypes. And that's not going to happen unless they actually do an overhaul of the education system as well, because the education system also teaches a bunch of nonsense, and it teaches his story, as in the white man's story, rather than the real story of what happened in history. And this is why we're in this position right now, where we've got, the police who are working, and don't get me wrong, I know there's some good police officers out there that do a great job, but you've got those, there's always going to be a number of those officers that like to, wield their power around and take advantage of that. And I have seen that quite a lot of times. And also a lot of them have their own biases. They've got their own issues and their own thoughts in their heads about a black person or this or that. And it's quite interesting, even when I spoke to someone recently who was stopped and searched just recently, as in yesterday. And what was interesting, the police were asking him, what's his background? So you'll see earlier I showed you the ethnicity, and it shows you, black Caribbean or black African. So it's almost as if to say they cannot accept the fact that some black people are actually born here. So I think the person says to them black British, and they still again probe to say, oh, what is that, African or is that Caribbean? No, he's born here, so it's British. But you don't even have a tab for that, do you? So I suppose that gets whacked into black other. Hence my point about why I believe the system needs to be overhauled. Recently, even a black police officer has even spoken out to say that he believes that the police are still very racist. And this is like 20 years later, after the Met were found to be institutionally racist anyway. So it's been 20 years down the line and you're still keeping up with the same type of rubbish. Like, something's got to change here. Like, what is this? What is going on? We know what it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Bianca was racially profiled? Do you agree or do you disagree? What's your comments below? Let me know what you think. Do you think the UK has a major issue? Is it not as bad as other places? What do you think? Let me know down below. Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.